5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hi everyone, welcome to another video by me, the Techie Prepper. Today we're going to cover a topic that everybody should already be into a little bit. I'm sure everybody has a flashlight or candles around their house, some kind of lighting apparatus. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over the different options that you have for emergency lighting, portable emergency lighting, that is. A lot of people may have whole home generators, portable generators that run on fossil fuel, or even solar generator / battery packs. So this doesn't really apply to them. If you have them, great. Hey, that's awesome. But even with those, the fuel may run out eventually. If you're in a long enough crisis for say 2 weeks, you have a couple gallons of gas stored. Eventually you may run into problems where you have to actually revert back to some old school lighting. So I'm going to try to hold back. I'm already 2 coffees deep today. I'm about 3/4 of the way done with the frozen Coke. So I am caffeined up and sugared up. So I'm going to try to maintain a little bit. It's going to be hard, but please bear with me. So if you enjoy my content or you learn something from it, please like it, subscribe to it if you want to see more videos from me. And most importantly, if there's something that I cover in my videos that you think somebody else in your family or your friend group may find appealing, please share it with them. That goes a long way. And additionally, if you'd like to buy me a coffee or a Slurpee or a frozen Coke to keep me all wired up and making new videos, not necessary, but I'm going to put my Bitcoin wallet QR code somewhere over here, and I'll put the address down in the comments. And I'd appreciate any support that you could throw me and the channel. I put everything that I get back into the channel. I do this to help people, so we'll leave it at that. So let's get started. Not everybody has whole home generators, portable generators, to power their lighting when the power goes out. So they may live in apartment complexes. They live in an apartment where they can't have a fossil fuel burning generator. Maybe they don't have the money for a portable solar generator and a panel. I was there once myself, trust me. When I was in college, I had a church food store. I was struggling. I had my own place and I was putting myself through college full time, and they had a lot of bread down there, and there was literally like 3 houses down from my apartment. And I would go down there and I would get bread. They were real friendly and everything, and that kind of supplemented what I was able to afford to eat. So everybody's been in that position, and everybody just needs to try to do what they can. Everybody has different positions in life and places in life. That's just the way life is. But I'm going to do my best to give you some affordable options that are also, I think, very useful. So we'll start out with probably my least favorite. They're the most economical, but they are also hazardous to some extent, right? And that is candles or fuel oil burning lamps. I don't have a fuel oil burning lamp because I just have no need for them. They soot up the inside of the house and they're just dirty, so I don't use them. But first thing is a candle. Well, good old-fashioned candle. You can buy these at the dollar store, $1.25 store now, right? Am I getting too fast? I'm trying to keep myself under check here. So, $1.25 store now. You get them, they burn for hours. Just make sure you put them on a plate or something and keep them up in a higher location where pets and small kids, even maybe older kids sometimes, can't get at them and inadvertently knock them over and create a hazard. But very cost efficient. They burn a long time. They don't produce a lot of light, but they will produce enough light to get you around the house safely, so you're not banging your, stubbing your toes on furniture and creating a medical issue for yourself. So that's the first thing, candles. The second is a candle alternative, right? So these are, I hope you can see it flickering. These are fake candles. You can get these at Michael's, Walmart, Target. They're a little more expensive. Those candles there, regular candles, go for like $1.25 for a big one. This is probably, you can get them on clearance for maybe $4, $3 to $5, and they'll run a while. They run on, this particular one runs on AAA batteries, 2 AAAs. So put a couple of these strategically around the house, and like I said, same as the candles, it provides about the same amount of light. So just enough to keep yourself out of trouble, but not enough to work by, cook by, that type of thing. They do have their place. They're relatively inexpensive, and they produce enough light to get by. I actually like these. The next thing would be LED lanterns. Oh, here's another candle. See? I'm all out of whack, man. I am so amped up right now. So this is a little more expensive candle. I think this one cost me like $10 at Target, and it smells awesome. We usually keep these around the house and burn them occasionally just to keep the house smelling good. But you could use these in a pinch. You would have low light, but you know, it would be a nice, pleasant environment because it would smell very nice. Don't necessarily need that, but we usually keep two or three of these around, and you know, we burn them so we have them available if we need them in an emergency. Okay, the next thing is LED lanterns. This is probably the mainstay of my arsenal here. I have, there's no other way around it. I have a flashlight fetish. I'll just come around and say it. I have flashlights everywhere. I keep them in my medical kits. I have a video on the medical kits. I keep one in there, a headlamp. So if I have to, you know, bandage somebody up or something, or look for a certain medication, I have my flashlight right there. I can put it on. I have them in each one of our cars. I have them outside in the back. I keep them out here in the garage hanging up. I have them in my, I probably have over 100 flashlights and LED lights in my possession right now in a typical household, so that may be a lot. I may have a problem. But this is probably the mainstay, and I don't have them all out here. I have multiple of these stored away, and these are little LED lanterns. You've probably seen these before. These are great for camping and that type of thing. And the good thing about these is they also run on AA batteries, very common, and you can adjust the amount of light by pulling it up. Some of these are cheaper than others and don't hold together well. Typically, these go for an average of about $10. The price has really gone up lately with inflation. I don't know why. Maybe because they come from China and there's, you know, the issues over there. But these provide a lot of light for the size. So they will light up a room, and you can, obviously they're portable. You can drag them around, and they'll last for you know, 12 to 24 hours, depending on the type of battery that you use. So you put one of these in each one of the rooms. Now I'm not taking you know, operational security into account here. You do that on your own. Preppers are big on that, right? You don't want to stand out. If everybody's power's out, you may want to use candles or a low light source. But if you're just looking to, if you need to cook or something, or you need to work on something that's broken, or you want light to read, sufficient light, then, you know, something like this is good. You can position these throughout the house, and they'll run all night if you want them to. And like I said, you can adjust them. Like I said, these are the mainstays or the backbone of my lighting when the power goes out. They do a really good job, and they're fairly cost effective. The next thing are LED flashlights and headlamps. This was my first mag light, very sentimental. This actually runs on C batteries, and it's got an old, I believe it's xenon or halogen light in it, bulb. Still works, it's not bright, but you can also use it as a club for self-defense if you get it filled up with batteries. It's very heavy and very stout. It's a metal body. I never use this. This is like a museum piece for me. If I need to break it out, I will, but I doubt I ever will. I have flashlights that I've never even opened. I have probably 4 or 5 packs of these. This is a 2-pack. This is 100 lumens. This is usually what I use in the cars and that type of thing, along with one of these. This is another one of these. These are 600 lumens, and these are bright enough to light up the end of the street. You can see squirrels nuts in the trees, 50 yards away. So bright enough. So then I have a bunch of headlamps, and these are tricky. Now this happens to be a Lux Pro, and I kind of like the brand. It's a low to mid-level brand, but they have a tendency to last longer than, say the Energizers and stuff like that you find in some of the stores. I do have one of those that I bought a long time ago for an Easter egg hunt, of all things, when my kids were little. And but these are very nice. You can get them in different designs. They have different functionality, red light, green light, all that stuff. And like I said, I position these all around the house, so I always have one available in the garage. If I go out back by the pool, I have one out there, hanging up as soon as I go out the door. Very handy to have. And these are good for, searching for things going around the house, or close-up work if you're trying to repair something or work on something up close. Very good. Now these run typically, I think this is probably a $15 or $20 one. You can actually get the less expensive ones for $5 to $10. Like I said, I don't put a whole lot of trust in them lasting a long time, but this is relatively cost effective, and it has a purpose because you can go hands-free. That's the beauty of this. You go hands-free, you put it on your head, and you can work on items up close. I also have these. I bought these either after Black Friday or Christmas from Walmart. They're magnetic mount. They have magnets on the back, and they are directional, so I can set these up and point them at whatever I need to point them at, and they'll stay. They have a little stand on them, or I can mount them to like the underside of a hood or something like that. And they have a spot and a floodlight and a regular narrow beam. So these are nice too. These also take AA batteries. I have a few of these, and I use them occasionally out in the garage when I'm working on the car, underneath the car and stuff like that. It's getting a little dark, so they have their place as well. But you could leave them up all night long. They would probably burn out by the morning because they're not that efficient, but they do provide light. This one, I actually borrowed this. Just about all of the, like the Home Depots, Lowe's, they have their brands, and Rigid, I think, is Home Depot. Lowe's is the Kobalt, which I use that line of tools, the Kobalts. Not a sponsor or anything, I'm just mentioning where we got them from and that type of thing. But, so this is actually borrowed from a friend of mine, and this is a Ryobi. All of the, like the Rigids, the Kobalts, Ryobis, Milwaukees, just about Atabos, just about any of them these days make a lamp that goes right on the lithium batteries that power, drills, and all of their, tools. So this one happens to be an 18 volt. And this one, my friend says this will go for hours and hours. Probably, I don't know what the specs are on it, but because it's not mine, but I'm sure it'll definitely last overnight. Probably with a 4 amp hour battery and an LED like that, that'll probably last you a couple days. I mean, a couple nights. A couple overnights, probably 2 or 3, and then you'll have to recharge it again. Now, the last thing I have are these flashlights. These are Lux Pro, and I got these, so let me tell you. I said I have a flashlight fetish, and I buy them all the time. And the reason I buy them is because I get such good value. Now, I buy all of my flashlights and all of my lighting on clearance. If you go into Facebook, Reddit, they all have groups that tell you when all the department stores and home improvement stores have clearance. And they'll give you the price and what they are. So I got these for about $2 a piece, under $2. I think it was like $1.81. And these are nice little lights. You know, they have a little zoom on them. They're not the brightest, but they're LED and they're bright enough, and they're better than the ones that you find on the counters at auto parts stores and stuff like that. These will actually last. And why I got these is if there's an emergency in the neighborhood and there's, you know, everything breaks loose in the neighborhood, we have a hurricane come through or something, I want to be able to give these out to my neighbors so we can all look out for each other, right? It's kind of that, it takes a village mentality. So these are basically disposable to me. I don't use them on a regular basis, but I will give these out along with my radios. If you haven't seen my family emergency communications plan video, I also have little handy talkies to give out to the neighbors so we can all kind of stick together and look out for each other. So that's what I use these for. And like I said, I got them for $1.81 a piece. If you find them at the right time, that goes for any of these. I got all these flashlights on clearance. So if you keep an eye out, you can get them for a reasonable cost. Now, a power plan. All of my electronic devices, I utilize a power plan. I like to standardize the way that everything in my house runs. So my radios, I have a shortwave radio that takes AA batteries. I have my little Baofeng UV5R, the handy talkie dual band radios. I have accessory packs that go on the back so I can run them off AAAs. And the reason I do that is I want everything electronic that I utilize to run off the same power source. And the reason I do that is to standardize it, right? It makes it so much easier because I always have batteries available. So this is my battery pack as it stands right now. I don't know if you can see, but I have my tester, I have some button cells, I have Eneloop, rechargeable, standard, AAAs, I have alkalines, AAAs, I have Amazon Essential. These are actually the extended or high density, high capacity AAAs, and some more Eneloop AAAs. And I have alkaline AA's. I have lithium AA's. These will last like 10 years to 20 years, no problem. And they're very light. I got these on clearance as well from Target. So I'm always on the lookout for these things. That's a good way to be. It'll bring your overall cost down and you'll be able to get a lot for your money. And then here I have some more Eneloop rechargeable AA's. And then inside my house, this is the pack that I don't really touch. I come out once a year and make sure that all my rechargeables are maintained so they're good to go. I actually need to fill it up with a few more because I use some to replace some old ones that I've had for Xbox remotes and that type of thing. So they've recharged literally hundreds of times. So yeah, so you know, standardizing the way that your electronics run is very important. And you know, obviously having a way to charge them, to recharge the chargeable batteries. So I happen to have a few solar installations on site. I can plug into any of them and charge up. I have several chargers. This is one of them, and I can recharge those batteries off my solar. If you don't have that available, a way to recharge them, then make sure you have enough on hand to last you a while, you know, a week or so probably, and have them charged up and ready to go, especially if you live like, if you have seasons where you have issues, you know, high rain for floods or hurricane season here where I live. Make sure if you don't have a way to recharge them after the power goes out, that you have you know, a good supply and they're charged and ready to go. And then the final thing I'm going to mention is I might actually do this video all in one shot, and that is amazing for me. It must be all the coffee and the frozen Coke, man. I'm going at it. So the last thing I wanted to mention was maintain your equipment. Okay, I put batteries in these just for, and several of these just for show here today. I never keep my batteries and my flashlights unless they're the ones that I use on a regular basis. Okay, and the reason for that is they self-discharge, and even like a lot of LED flashlight, they actually have a parasitic draw on it. So when you put it in there, the battery's not insulated. The device is actually drawing a little bit, very little bit of current out of it. It's keeping it flowing. I thought I would make it through the entire video. Not going to happen. There's going to be a couple cuts. That's the way it goes. So the hydrogen gas builds up inside of the battery. So let me open one up. So you've probably all seen it before. You'll go to use one of your batteries, and they're sealed on both ends, but they have a little bit of ventilation, right? So it's not completely sealed. There'll be a little ventilation on one end, the positive end, and a little bit on the other end. And what happens is, when there's a draw on it all the time, hydrogen gas builds up. And what that does is it expands, and if it can't vent properly, it breaks the seal completely around it, and that creates that white crust that you see, and that's potassium carbonate. I had to search for the word there. And yeah, be careful with that too. If you get that on you, on your hands or whatever, make sure that you wash it off before you touch your eyes or anything, obviously. But you've probably all seen it before in an old flashlight or something. You know, my dad gave me a flashlight one time, and it was all built up inside. It was white, powdery, and green. And then you have to, you know, either emery cloth off the contacts in the flashlight. Sometimes it's pervasive throughout, so you have to throw the flashlight away. So make sure that if you're not going to be using it on a regular basis, it's best to take out the batteries and store them on their own. So that is all that I have for you today. That's my portable emergency lighting. And like I said, a lot of these are low cost, you know, but they work. So you've seen there's all kinds of lighting that you can utilize in an emergency. These are just some of the ones that I have on hand. And the reason I have them on hand is because they are cost effective and they work. So hopefully this video has been beneficial to you. You learned something. You know, I'm here to help. So if anybody has any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to you. So until next time, thank you, and I'll see you then. Bye.